in the north, and even those in the east, and those down in the west. I'm not sure, but of course south it has been raining whole day. A lot of showers coming in, and I was asking my friend, I said, well, look, this dry season seems to be a different one. It seems as though that Keith Rowley even start to interfere with the clouds. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, it will be remiss of me if I do not play back that clip from the douglAR himself on the Monday night forum. The douglAR, the way in which he articulated his message, the narrative that he portrayed, his disposition. At one time, I think that the douglAR had probably 3/4 of this country in tears. The way in which the douglAR performed last night. So I want to play back the douglAR, Senator Anil Roberts. Sit back.
I read for you now from his story, the survivor story in the Express. It read, he feels deeply that his friends could have been rescued. As he felt them alive, he left them alive in air pockets. 3 hours recalling what took place that dreaded day, breaking down in tears at times, also venting his fury over the actions he believed led to his friends' deaths. We had just removed 2 planes and the accident occurred. He then continued, Boudram said he fell into an air pocket of the pipeline and started to gasp for breath. He started dragging himself along the pipeline, using his elbow and feet for about 10 minutes in the air pocket before he heard Ali Jr.'s voice. I start to hear screaming, said Boudram. I tell myself, them fellas outside looking for me. I yell back, I come in, I come in. I'm inside the pipeline, I'm coming, come in. He said he heard a voice shout back, me too, me too. I inside the pipeline too, boy. It's me, Kaz. It's Kaz, boy, Kaz. Kazim was alive. Newman George, Piper, Paria, Smallpin, and Rowley. Then I heard, said Boudram, somebody bawling out and shouted, who is that? Yusuf answer and say, Chris is me, boy, brother boy. And he bawling. I asked him, you alright? He said, no, boy, my hand break, my foot break. I say, okay, relax yourself. We have to get out of this. Yusuf was alive, Newman George. Yusuf was alive, Paria. Yusuf was alive. Boudram said he heard another voice, and it was Faisal Kurban. Faisal was alive, Newman George. Faisal was alive, Paria. Faisal was alive, Rowley. I told Small Kaz to take his arms and put it over my feet. I take my feet and wedge it beneath his armpits. And I tell him to try the best to keep his arms closed. I told Yusuf to push Kaz while I pull him. Teamwork, working to save their lives, alive, fighting, while above Newman George, Paria, nothing, obfuscation, lack of heart, inhumanity, shutting them out, leaving them to die. 5-1 is murder, and murderers deserve the political death sentence. Boudram reiterated, they were all in a huge air pocket, and therefore they were able to breathe. They had air, not dead. They could breathe, and therefore there was a high probability of survival if the rescue plan was followed. Yet Paria made the decision to halt all rescue efforts. Why, Newman George? Why lie? Why? He said every 5 to 10 minutes they rested. They were working hard. They were injured. But yet for 3 hours they were fighting for their lives, while above, Paria was golfing. Paria was relaxing. Paria was leaving them to die. Why? He said they neared the end of the air pocket and were now reaching into the water, into the pipeline. At this point, he decided that since he was in front and more able to move, he and Faizi would try to make their way out and get help. So at that time, Boudram, in the dark, without much oxygen, fighting to save his team, he made a bold, heroic decision to go forward. They begged him not to go, but he knew that he could not leave the men back. He knew that he was the one to save his friends, and he proceeded forward. But cowardice, negligence, inhumanity, deceit, lies, and secrecy, the tears of the families, the tears of the entire population, fall on the black hearts of Paria, Newman George, and Keith Christopher Rowley and the PNM. Boudram continued, "If I stay here, all of we will die," he said, as he made his heroic statement. Little did he know that the PNM and Paria awaited him above, not with help, not with assistance, not with courage, not with belief, not with hope, not with love, but with neglect, with heartlessness, callousness, and criminal negligence. 5 went in, 1 ascended. 5 to 1 is murder. Murderers deserve the political death sentence.
Well. Trinidad and Tobago. What kind of country are we living in? What kind of country, Trinidad and Tobago, we living in? Something of this nature, as the facts, Corky, as the facts disseminates, I believe that not only should the flag, the national flag of this country, should flown at half mast, Corky. When if you understand this, not only disaster but a national disaster, something as this nature occur in this country, and we have a prime minister who ain't even visit the families of these individuals. A prime minister who has not seen it fit to call a press conference to deal with this situation. A prime minister, ladies and gentlemen, who have no heart for humanity. A prime minister, ladies and gentlemen, any other country, something like this happen, you will hear public statements from those at the helm, whether it be a president or a prime minister. They would come out and speak and seek to get down to the bottom with people being suspended pending these investigations, especially with the facts that continue to come out of this situation. I would have believed that this country would have been screaming, kicking, screaming, and bawling for justice. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, what have we become? What have we, the people of this country, become? Are we so heartless that we only cry and feel the pain when it's our immediate family? What has gone wrong in our society that no longer people in this country will stand in their masses to demonstrate a public outcry about these individuals who still sit in this office of Paria, drawing their fat salaries. What has broken down in our society that no longer people will stand for what is right and forbid what is wrong? Since when lies has become truth and truth has become your enemy in this society? Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine for just a few moments, stretch your mind and see if you can understand the agony, the suffering, the pain, the level of anxiety of these individuals beneath meters of waters in inside a pipeline, hoping, waiting to see the light. Bleeding, knocking a pipeline. We are here. We are alive. We are living. Help us. Somebody, anybody, help us. Please help us. Can you imagine when you are in distress? When you kick your toe on the edge of the fridge or the stove or the cupboard in your homes, the agony, the anguish, the relief that you so seek, while you are in the open, on the dry. Can you imagine these individuals inside of this pipe? In their minds, they're expecting hope. They were expecting help. And then instructions were given. Seal the pipe. Coast Guard on deck. Instructions: no one is to enter that water. While people below expecting, waiting for help to arrive, thinking about their families, thinking about their kids, hoping for that miracle, hoping to be rescued. Only, ladies and gentlemen, to know as the minute, as the hour passed by, that no one would be coming. It's a debt of hope. It's a debt at the last point, still waiting for someone to stretch that lifeline, only not to know that those who had the authority to stretch that lifeline, what they did, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, was to cut that lifeline, leaving these human beings to perish in what I can only consider to be the worst type of suffering. And yet, to the end of the day, all those who make, matter of fact, who made those decisions, they are still at work. They are still there, probably covering their tracks, preparing all the necessary paperwork, having it prepared, probably backdated, to ensure that everything is all in order to avoid what can only be described as perverting the cause. Perverting the cause of justice. We have a prime minister in this country who would not do the honorable thing. We have a prime minister who have appointed his friends, his financiers into position as protection to cover wrongdoing. We have a prime minister who continue to lie, and later on in this show I will prove that this prime minister is a pathological liar. I will prove it today on this show. And I want to see if you, the people of this country, will continue to support a prime minister who have no shame, who is incompetent, who have no moral standard in our society. I want to know if you people so wicked to yourself that all you will support evil, and when evil come upon the land, don't vex. I remember that God had sent the prophets to warn the people about participating in evil. He also showed them what will be the outcome when you support and practice evil. Out of that comes destruction to many great cities in the days of old, because our kings, our prince, they have practiced evil, they have practiced witchcraft. We have a prime minister who boasts about witchcraft, who boasts about what he had done to the man who put him out the parliament. And there was a bunch of evil folks who applaud the prime minister's statement. They clap. They clap. They supported that kind of evil. Today, we are seeing a prime minister who blatantly disrespect women, disrespect men, disrespect children, disrespect the office of the prime minister. And yet today in our society, we have people who will stand and defend and back a prime minister simply because they're afraid, they do not want to live according to the truth. And that is why our constituencies are in those conditions, because you live in promises you doesn't want to live. You doesn't want to live. With truth, you don't like truth. And this prime minister understand. He study you people. He know what you like. He know that this society love to enjoy lies. They glory in their iniquity. They glory in their lies and their follies. And therefore, this prime minister continue to give you what you like. He lied to you. He buff you. He curse you. He tell you what thing to do and what thing not to do. He call you names. And yet you people, you rejoice. You applaud. You enjoy that folly. And that is why your life is a folly. Because you have not learned to stand for what is right and forbid what is wrong. Our parents, they too have given up. Yes, let me say it again. Because I want my mother to hear too. Our parents, they enjoy the folly of this Prime Minister. The churches, they enjoy the folly and support this Prime Minister who boasts about evil. The churches support him. And if those who ought to be speaking as the representative for the Creator on the earth, and they have enjoyed and supported the folly and the lies of this Prime Minister, I want to say to you that a day is coming where the vengeance of the Creator will stick and tie your tongues to the roof of your mouth simply because you enjoy the folly and the lies of this Prime Minister. You know why? Because the Prime Minister study you. He understand your attributes. The Prime Minister know. He knows all those who love the blueback. He knows those who need the blueback. And what he has done, he has bought you with grants, with money, and therefore you have no moral authority to even speak about God when you support the evil wickedness of this Prime Minister. That is where we are today. So when these disasters, those accidents, which can be avoided if the proper process is adhered to in our country, when those things happen, you as the country, you sit back and you defend. All in a sudden, some of you broken like thief, but all you become lawyers. All you become lawyers. All you defending Paria and the Prime Minister and the Minister of Energy, like all you study law. All you all over social media. Some of you so wicked and evil because y'all have participated in the follies of the Prime Minister that some of you now posting on social media. You want to know if the diver had taken a course. You want to know how much tank in your air in the tank. You want to know if the meter was working. You want to know what suit he had on. You want to know everything. But you don't want to hold those who ought to be held accountable for what transpired on that faithless day. You want to blame everybody. All you is Paria lawyers. All you is Rowley lawyers. But you know what? If all you know what good for all you in this country, all you better start to be lawyer for all yourself. Because it coming, you know. It coming. Let me tell all you. It coming. Hold on. Hold on. It coming. In this same country, all you will live to see that all you cannot buy a pound of rice and a piece of chicken under this regime. Wait, hold on. All you will see that some of you had to sell all your house and pawn all your land to get food in this country just now under this government. Hold on. Some of you will have to sell all your children in this country to survive under this government. all you hold on. Wait. Take all the time. All you support folly, support this government, support stupidity, support idiotism. All you go ahead. All you go ahead. All you defend it. Defend it. Defend it, don't afraid. Welcome, caller.
Yes, Silver Fox in the house. Yes, it's Silver Fox here.
Right, Fox.
I asked in Trinidadians today. I asked all the Trinidadians, what all you know about Rowley? What all you know about Keith Christopher Rowley? All you know, Keith Christopher Rowley leave Tobago, couldn't win nothing in Tobago, come to go Martin. And all you give him Prime Minister. What all you know about Keith Christopher Rowley? If them 4 divers that die was from America, the whole of Trinidad getting up and protest. George Floyd in America, none of you know George Floyd. And all around American embassy, all over the beatum, till somebody gets shoot. And all your own people, all you are getting up for, all on this sudden race. What this race thing doing for all you? Look where race have us today. Race have us in this big problem we in. What race are you talking about? Indians and Negroes have to build Trinidad and Tobago. This is our land. What is wrong with all you? Get up, open all your eyes. Not because all you working, all you feel all you better than somebody. Trinidadians, you have to change that mindset of what you all have. You can change. Your own people, look at the union taking all your money and not getting up for all you. I never see people lose their work on and no demonstration. What are you afraid Rowley about? Rowley is one ugly Tobagonian. What are you afraid him about? What is wrong with you all? What is your belly? What the fire in all your belly? All you used to say Tobagonian stupid, but if these 4 men was from Tobago and died in Tobago and Rowley do that, Tobago, all know Tobago on fire. Tobagonians would have had Tobago on fire if these 4 men was from here or in Tobago self and it happened in Tobago. All you weak. Only talk. Mr. Victor, it's time for Victor to tell us hush all the damn mouth. Because Victor, all you know what to do. We know what to do. I in the dance too. If all you say, come out, I am coming with you all. I'm coming, the fox is coming. Please, Trinidad, change all your mindset about Indians and we are one people. We are one people. Stop the carnival mentality. Get up and get. You are fathers, mothers, you are suffering. Let us get over this together. God is our hope and we have the hope. God make Rowley. Rowley didn't make God. Thank you.
Yes, Fox. Yes, Fox. Yes, Fox. Tell them like it is, Fox. Boy, tell them like it is in this country, boy. Because, Fox, let me tell you something. I can't understand, boy, how people accepting lie as truth, Fox. You and I know our parents would have scolded us severely for lying. Fox, let me tell you something. Ask some children, Fox. And let me tell you, when them children small, you could ask them what they get some belt on that bottom for. Ask them. Let me tell you something. You see lie? I does deal with lie very serious, Corky. Because when you a liar is a take the call. A liar is a dangerous individual, you know. Welcome, caller.
Mr. Victor Roberts.March to you and Mr. Corky and Jeffrey.
Yes, sir. Good day.
Who shall pay for the sins of those 4 men? Who? You see, when you have ridiculous and careless people, that's what does happen. And you see, one thing you have to understand. we just teach people about the books, the holy books. I want teacher to hate idol worshippers. And Christ said, love one another as I have loved you. You see, when you have a formula and you don't use it rightfully, do it for evil, you see, look at rigged one for long already. And you see what you say, Mr. Victor Roberts? People don't start to beg for flour. People start to beg for potato. People begging for a spoon of salt. 2 grain a match. It don't start already. It's waiting to come.
Yes.
But the people, the stupidity of the grassroots people has us where we is. Through our stupidity, we voting for race. You see, Mr. Tobago, he does say something, but Tobago is 95% so is African. And in this country, they divide us from the day of colonial, and we still keeping it. When Dr. William take over, he still keep it, and it's not changing. The black using the blacks to punish them, the Indians using the Indians to punish the Indians, and they're dividing us among our very own selves, and we accepting it too. Have a blessed and wonderful night.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Brilliant. Very brilliant comment. Very, very brilliant comment by Fox and my partner. Let me tell you something, Trinidad. All you're begging for flour, salt, and rice. All you go beg to boil some stone just now and take mud and make biscuit. You hear what I'm telling all you? All you go ahead and support stupidity. All you go ahead and going down there and I cookie from here. And I stop by Food Basket in Penal to get something for the cook we have in there. I want to buy some saltfish. And I pack up, a man come and he tell me, use the UNC man. He start there. I said the UNC man, I said no. He said, just be seeing this van. Everything UNC have in. I said, right. He and Baba ask you a question, I say, go ahead. Yeah, I want to get vexed. I say, ask me a question, brother. He say, I is a black man. You is a black man. Rowley is a black man. How we are supporting the Indian? You hear the question? So, I say, all right. I say, I could ask you a question before I answer you. I say, you is a black man. I is a black man. Rowley is a black man. What are you doing for the black people? He said, well, right now, nothing right now, but, yeah, you know, nothing right now, but we black people. Boy, watch. I wind up my glass. Man. I don't talk.
People dying, man.
People not only dying, they dotish, cocky. They dotish in this country. I mean, some of my friends have said, don't say it, but others say it. Because I cannot see people living and going down in the drain. And they're still holding on. Take the call. They're still holding on. Because,
Mind control.
people going down in the drain. They, watch. People never know down in the gutter have a drain. They never know that, you know. But every gutter must have a drain. The water will come from on top of the hill. Take the call. It must have somewhere to run out. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Victor. Good night, Jeffrey. Good night, Cocky.
Yes, good night.
Good night. Good night. Cocky, don't
I
call
would
me.
like
Don't
to
send me
say,
details.
you know, the Bible says, the Lord says that He never sees the children go hungry. You know, He will always provide for us. You know, and Mr. Victor, I agree with you when you say about lying. Lying is not good to do. You know, I learned that a long, long time. And growing up in my parents' home, my dad was very strict. He was very strict of us. 5 children, right? It was 5 at the time. And he always said, do not lie, speak the truth. And the truth shall set you free in the Bible, you know, it says that. And, you know, once you lie once, a lie come after a lie, and a lie, and a lie, you know, this way. They never get to really lie. You have to speak the truth. And the truth shall set you free.
Thank you very much.
Okay, God bless.
Yeah, same to you. Koki, in the gutter, must have a drain.
All right.
Whatever come down a hill, why you think every hill have a valley? It must have a valley because that water not staying on top the hill, Koki, it have to come down. And the people in this country, they didn't understand that. They did not understand that down in the gutter have a drain. Yes. And after this government bring them down in the gutter, they now intend to put them face down in the drain. You know what's sad about that? Yeah. Boy, some of these people will enjoy it.
No.
They will enjoy it. Koki, some of these people will lie down on the face in the drain and still ball PNM. No. You hear what I telling you? Nah. Nah. Huh. Koki, let me tell you something, brother. Let me tell you something here today. I and Jeffrey living in Labre. Labre is what they consider to be a PNM stronghold. You hear what I tell you? They just give Labre nothing and they just still vote PNM. A matter of fact, they just take away what Labre have and they still vote PNM. You hear what I just tell you, Koki? They just give Labre nothing. They just vote PNM. They will take away what Labre have and they vote PNM. They take away the resources in Labre. They still vote PNM. You hear what I'm telling you? They will be living inside the pitch and still vote PNM. You hear what I'm saying to you? It's now people start to open their eyes. No, people starting to open their eyes. You hear what I'm saying to you, brother?
Yes, yes.
They now starting to see.
But how do they do that? Is it a race thing, the racial thing, or how they control the people like
brother,
this?
let me tell you something. I go in and tell you. If Jeffrey want to tell you, I telling you.
Tell me, I want to know.
In Labre and other areas that the African people live in the majority, what the politicians implant, it is a chip.
What?
It is a balistic chip that they implant in your mind, but they implant it through your air. Listen what I'm saying. It's a chip a ballistic chip that they implant in your mind, but they implant it through your air.
Yeah.
So what they will hear the people saying is that, boy, this government is a black government. You know, like we have Republicans down here too, or probably the Democrats. So you'll hear them say, boy, it's a black government, and it's a black man, and it's a black man. That is all you will be hearing, you know. You won't hear nothing in these communities, you know. All you hearing, boy, what we go do, boy, is a black man like we.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to be hearing. But they're so idiotism that they're not seeing it might be a black man like them by color, but not by status. It might be a black man like them by looks, but not by wealth. It might be a black man like them by the texture of the hair.
Yes.
But it's a black man that live above them and will never come down to live in their standard. And that is what they fool them with.
Oh.
So they use the black man chip, the black man psychology, the black conscious idiotism that they like to tell you. It has some down Sarafara by me. And every minute you have a conversation, they start to tell you, boy, you always a black man like myself. Cocky, they eating dirt. But Rowley's a black man like myself. He take away everything they had. But Rowley's a black man like myself. Or you can get nothing. But Rowley's a black man like myself. That's all you're hearing.
Wow, sad.
I remember when they started to break down the squatters.
Yeah.
Corky, you will hear people saying, boy, well, what we gonna do, boy? What we gonna do? All of we is black people, and they're breaking down on their house and putting it on the street.
Wow.
And when the Indian was in power in 2012, they bring a program to start to regularize squatters. As the PNM come in power in 2015, they started tractor the house, bulldoze the house. You hear what I'm telling you?
So they
break them down. But yet to the end of the day, these idiots and them still telling me about black man. And I'm bad here this evening, you know. I'm telling you, I'm bad because what? I can't see this country going down the drain that is going under this black man, and people still supporting that.
Well, is it something they have to do for it to survive, and they keep doing it back?
Brother, you cannot survive under this PNM.
But they keep doing the same thing?
Brother, you cannot survive under this PNM. Let me tell you what's going to happen to these same people.
Yes.
I'm predicting what's going to happen. When this Keith Rowley government finish implement the austerity measures that is about to happen in this country, you will see the black man killing one another to survive. You hear what I just tell you? They will kill one another to survive. They won't even. I can't say it on the air.
Well, a little time back it had war when it was killing.
Quacky,
yeah.
they'll continue to point the guns at the wrong people.
Gosh.
Your brother is not your enemy. No. Your brother didn't bring policy for you to be living in hardship. Your neighbor didn't bring a policy to take away your house. Your neighbor didn't bring a policy so that you cannot pay your mortgage. Your neighbor didn't bring a policy whereby you cannot mind your children. It wasn't your neighbor who you want to kill. It was the government. It was the same black man who you talking about. It was the same black man that all you keep talking about, who don't care about all you. The same black man who don't even have all your interests at heart. That is what it is. Cocky, let me go for the break.
Yes. This thing really sad, boy, Victor.
If it's sad,
Let's go.
Didn't bring a policy whereby you cannot mind your children. It wasn't your neighbor who you want to kill. It was the government. It was the...
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in. Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
Eddie's Pharmacy Limited. We have a selection of all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs to complement your wellness. Every product we carry is vetted and approved by our pharmacists who will be happy to assist you. With branches at C3 Mall inside JTA Supermarket, 1135 SS Erin Road in Pinal, and 54 Rocha Douglas Road in Barrapo. We offer services such as blood pressure testing, blood sugar testing, cholesterol testing, and also offer a wide variety of pregnancy test kits. We accept most major health insurances. For further information, contact Eddie's Pharmacy at any of our 3 branches. C3 Mall, contact number 228-4990, 54 Rocha Douglas Road in Barrackpore at 654-2655. or SS Erin Road in Pinal 647-0778, Eddie's Pharmacy Limited.
Sport is in trouble. What can be done to save sports in TNT? Join host Gordon Pear on Sports Insight every Monday and Wednesday on MCTV from 4:30 p.m. as he identifies the problems, look for solutions, and points the way forward. Sports Insight, where we talk to the coaches, athletes, administrators, and of course, you the fans, as we bring positive change through sport.
douglAR Radio is now on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Anil Roberts, bringing you the facts on politics and up-to-date information. Also taking your calls on 218-7762. douglAR Radio on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on, what you say now?
Sponsored by Royal Castle.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made to savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
Welcome back. On the phone lines, we have an attorney at law, the none other than the original Brian Bain. Counsel, welcome to U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper. Good afternoon.
Good evening, Victor. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and the indomitable Corky.
Yes, sir. We have Jeffrey on the inside also.
Oh, good evening as well, and as well as your listeners and those who are following live, because I listen to you very attentively. Pleasant good night.
Counsel, we played a clip earlier on from Senator Anil Roberts in relation to the Monday night forum, which took place last evening. And coming out of that clip, the senator gave us a breakdown in relation to the eyewitness and the step-by-step basis as to what occurred down at Paria. Based on the information that I know that you would have also heard, what is your take, or what do you believe is the next step? Because I know for a fact that we have some 11 or 12 days had passed while the site was exposed. The site was not protected from what we now learning. So in other words, if I should say the site is quite contaminated, a matter of fact, there was so many days past, one can even suspect that coming out of that if there were not, for want of a better word, the proper documentation in place at that time when the accident did occur, because of the discrepancies in protecting that area and also putting a hold on everything, as the leader has called, what do you think, or where do you believe we will be going from here, going forward, even seeing that they cannot as yet put together that the panel for that commission of inquiry?
Well, let me first say that I welcome a commission of inquiry, because I think that the commission of inquiry, I think, will be able to get what needs to be done. At least with this, we can see that what Paria has to answer, and I expect them to answer. The families, from my understanding, has taken legal counsel. Yes, hello, you hear me?
Yeah, hear you there now.
Right. So, like I said, I welcome a commission of inquiry, right? I mean, a commission of inquiry will ensure that answers will be done. Now, outside of that, I know the families have lawyered up, if I may say it like that. And I expect that their attorneys will now have to take that next step. I know that Mr. Prakash Ramada has taken the mantle for, I think, 3, and I believe a senior counsel, Adam Logan, has been retained, and I know that these 2 attorneys, they are very good. I expect that they will now look to have people account. I would expect that whoever has to answer will answer accordingly. What I will say as well is that I agree that all work there should be shut down in the form of that whole site has to now be fully protected. But we have to ensure that everything that is there is kept safe and also free from anyone looking to tamper anything.
But, Councillor, if I could interject right at that point, while we are hearing that the site now probably protected, what happened to the lapse with the 10 or 11 or 12 days that have passed while the site was still active and things was happening? What do you believe that would cause a problem going forward? Do you believe that it can contaminate the evidence going forward in this matter? What is your take on that?
Well, the fact that the site was still left unmanaged, unmanned, unprotected, the idea of persons trying to maybe tamper or to contaminate may happen. Not say it will, but it is a possibility that happens. Especially as you know, we must remember, if I may take off my lawyer's hat, we must remember that there is a creature, an entity called the People's National Movement. And this entity has been known to protect and cover their tracks. We saw where a vlogger got hold of a video of what was transpiring in a pipe. And the question to ask is, how in God's green earth, God's black earth, God's red earth, did this person get that? So the only people that would have had access to such video footage would be Paria. They're the only people. And the fact that people saw that is a total breach. And Paria has to answer for that. I don't know if Paria was trying to show some form of way that's trying to say that they are not in any way liable. But by you doing that, by the fact that she got that, you have just showed your hand, Paria, right? And look who you give it to. A known government sentimental person / blogger. And you could hear from her own comments as to what she was saying.
Council, let me interject there again. Can there, from your legal experience, could there be a possibility that this video was willfully leaked in order to create some kind of pre-publicity trial in this case?
Well, what I will say to that, Victor, is that I would shudder to think that that was the reason for doing that. But if that was done, Paria has, I'm sure, a legal counsel for themselves, via internally or externally. And I'm sure that they would have said, hey, what nonsense is that? Because I am telling you, I would have been a lawyer from State Enterprises. And I am telling you, I was legal counsel for Paria, and that was done. I would have been beaten down the doors of the CEO. I would have been beaten down the doors of the chairman of the company and said, how in the world did this be released? Where did this happen? Because, again, the only person that would have had access to that video would have been Paria Oil Company.
But a question, Counsel. Would you say that action like this, shouldn't it warrant a police investigation as to get down to how this individual received what can consider to be evidence in this high-profile matter?
The TTPS, respectfully, may not be bodied because you have to first establish some form of criminality. I don't think that will happen. What could happen is the lawyers of these families, the victims' families, they can now call upon a cease and desist of any property owned by Paria of this nature that will affect this matter should not be in any way released unless it is for the Commission of Inquiry or for in case that there is a private action brought. So that was what I would have done if possible. But it is ridiculous from what I saw. And it is just showing the amount of tactics that is being done to try and clear Paria. And it is ridiculous. I mean, I saw some releases from them, and they try and all how to make it sound as though, well, we are not the persons to look at. Well, I'm sorry, Paria, but you are the ones to look at as well. Because these persons did not go, and I keep saying, these fellas didn't go for a glory swim. These fellas didn't go to find conch. These fellas didn't go to do spearfishing. They went to do a job. And who was the contractor? The contractor was Paria. It's not like they say, these fellas just say, hey, look, there's a pipe there. Let's go check it out. No. Yeah, and listening to Mr. Boudram, they had all the necessary documents to show why they were there. You understand? And I mean, Mr. Boudram, I think, is a man that should be commended to come out and speak out. I think that if it's one man I think deserves the order of Trinidad and Tobago, maybe it's Mr. Boudram. Maybe I'm just being ridiculous with that one. But that man is a hero because I read his article. I couldn't even finish reading it, Victor, because it reaches into your soul.
Of course.
As a human being. And I mean, we have a government here. You can. Nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. You have a Minister of Energy who has come out and do nothing except talk. That's all I can see him doing, talking. You have the Chairman of Paria who has done nothing, Newman George, who as far as I'm concerned should have been fired immediately. But this man declared the family dead on Saturday after they were sucked in. Everybody heard that on I-95. So there's facts on that, right? And then you have the CEO who, I am sorry, sir, as a chief executive officer, I would not have wanted to work for you. Because clearly, every question in that press conference, the answer is, well, we can't answer that. Every other question, we don't know. So then, sir, you're the CEO? Well, you don't know. If you don't know, you should have resigned. And then you have some other gentleman there whose name I can't recall. But apparently, he clueless as well. So you have a clueless minister, a clueless chairman of a board. You have a clueless CEO. So isn't that what? The blind leading the blind? I was a former chairman of a state board. And I'll tell you this. As a chairman, sir, Mr. Newman, you should have been there on the ground. Go down, see what's happening. And you didn't do that. Like I said, I was a chairman of a board. And I was always on top of my game of what's going on in that industry.
Well, probably he was also probably he was also on top of his game of golf. You don't know. I don't know. I just probably saying. But
to quote another known TV personality, it's alleged
yeah,
that he was golfing with the Prime Minister.
yeah, man, let the golf. You see, Paria must be the subject of the investigation because the contractor did not give the instruction to seal the pipe. The contractor did not give the Coast Guard allegedly instructions.
And that's another point, Victor, that the Coast Guard got into this matter.
Yeah.
And the question to ask is, did the Coast Guard have jurisdiction to deal with this matter? I don't know. Does the Coast Guard have the necessary people to say, well, no, you can't go down there? Because then who could have gone down? Did the Coast Guard send divers? No. From what I heard and from what I read, is armed Coast Guard officers came there and prevented the diver. Armed Coast Guard officers? People were trapped. I mean, I compare this, as you would remember, in Chile, where there were some miners who were caught in a hole, were trapped in a hole. And you could see that every single thing was done to try and save these men. Where you saw anybody and anyone trying. So now you have here these persons not doing anything. So the Coast Guard has to answer, Paria has to answer, and you know what is also very ridiculous? Is that you have these families who were there, and they begin to, be very agitated. Lo and behold, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service arrived. And, instead of asking the families, okay, what's the problem? We understand. You threatened to lock them up? Well, that should have been me. Lock me up, sir. My father's trapped in a pipe. I mean, they just came there being so callous, so cruel, so, there's so many words you can use. And the sad part is an officer saying, well, there's no keeping of the COVID regulation. Sir, COVID, that's what you came down here to talk about? When you had a family under a bus shed. I think it was a bus shed they were.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's a bus shed. We were there.
And I will tell you this, Victor. The question that we must ask, had Petrotrin be what Petrotrin was known to be, would this incident have happened? I will always remember in 2014, being the former chairman of the Seafood Industry Development Company, there was an emergency plan being put together by state enterprises. And would you know that it was Petrotrin who was leading that exercise, that in case of any form of emergency that led to that highway, so all of us all of the agencies that was involved from Shogona go down to Petrotrin was involved in it. And what I saw Petrotrin did showed from point A to point B of an emergency setting. So the question to ask is, was there anything in place? Was there a plan? Was there something to do? Was there initiated projects to show if this ever happens, what do you do? And I am sorry, we did not see anything being done by the Paria company. So,
and that plan you're speaking of there will come under the umbrella of a risk assessment. So
yes,
you assess the risks, you look at the alternative and so on before you even start that project. You look at all the safety mechanism that will be required in case this should happen, that should happen, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and not only that, we also had a representative from the OSHA that was there. And I'm sorry, but the OSHA organization in Trinidad and Tobago, I'm sorry.
Failure.
They're a talk shop.
Failure.
Right?
Failure.
As far as I'm concerned, it's another failed institution under this administration. Right? Because all they come and do is just talk and say, well, we are not to blame. Well, okay, OSHA, we're not. If you are not to blame, Paria is not to blame. This one is not to blame. So then, forgive me how I say it, then who the hell is to blame? Right?
Correct.
Because 4 lives have been lost. We have a child who was telling his father, goodbye, daddy, goodbye, right? And the issue about it is that we have an issue of negligence being set here. A duty of care, there was a fail of that. So I hope out of this commission of inquiry, we're able to get some proper answers. I know that the inquiry will be the lead counsel for the inquiry is Senior Counsel Roberts.March, a gentleman who I believe will be a very good person to this inquiry, to be the advisor to the inquiry, that is. Outside, I think even he himself said that Paria must step aside, right? Again, I will tell you this. Had Kamla Prasad Nisesa been Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and this happened, and if I was the chairman of Paria, I don't think I had to wait to be told to resign. Right? Because she led by an example. And I'm saying here again, we also have a Prime Minister who clearly, he didn't know what he asked to do. Oh, sorry, he didn't know what he was doing. My apologies. My apologies. He doesn't know what he was doing. Because this thing gets you so emotional, Victor.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, this thing is so, it rubs you the wrong way. It rubs the nation the wrong way, Victor. You know? So I apologize for that.
So, Council, we want to thank you very much for your time that you have spent with us this afternoon and sharing some light and some experience from...
But before I go, Victor, I know that outside of the Paria issue, we have another burning issue in this country. And I will say it here. Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, sir, you have brought your office into disrepute. It is time to go. It is time to resign. If you do not resign, sir, you then have proven that you are a dictator. You have proven that you must do whatever you want and not a dog back. I will close with that.
Thank you very much, Council. Ladies and gentlemen, that was
Anytime,
Attorney at Law, Brian Bain, and we want to thank you for your time spent with us today in relation to that Paria issue. At this time, we will go for a break and more when we come back.
Eddie's Pharmacy Limited, we have a selection of all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs to complement your wellness. Every product we carry is vetted and approved by our pharmacists who will be happy to assist you. With branches at C3 Mall inside JTA Supermarket, 1135 SS Erin Road in Pinal, and 54 Rosha Douglas Road in Barrackpore. We offer services such as blood pressure testing, blood sugar testing, cholesterol testing, and also offer a wide variety of pregnancy test kits. We accept most major health insurances. For further information, contact Eddie's Pharmacy at any of our 3 branches. C3 Mall, contact number 228-4990, 54 Rosha Douglas Road in Barrackpore at 654-2655. Or SS Erin Road in Pinal, 647-0778, Eddie's Pharmacy Limited.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Welcome the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Join me, Anthony Jules, on Late Nights with Jules, only on MCTV. New guests every week, activity, games, hot topics, a lot of discussions. You don't want to miss it. Tune in and join me only on MCTV, 9 p.m. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Calling every human. Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Blackrock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Blackrock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
Sport is in trouble. What can be done to save sports in TNT? Join host Gordon Pear on Sports Insight every Monday and Wednesday on MCTV from 4:30 p.m. as he identifies the problems, look for solutions, and points the way forward. Sports Insight, where we talk to the coaches, athletes, administrators, and of course, you, the fans, as we bring positive change through sport.
The local Palooza show and countdown.
Now showing on MCTV.
Hosted by TNT's rock ambassador, Bees Hi-Fi, the metal merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network. Local Palooza show and countdown on MCTV. The local Palooza show and countdown.
Now showing on MCTV. douglAR Radio is now on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Anil Roberts. Bringing you the facts on politics and up-to-date information. Also taking your calls on 218-7762. douglAR Radio on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on, what you say?
Sponsored by Royal Castle.
You, Mr. Heartless. You're worthless. Pass me soda, my cutlass. Think it's a laughing matter, this. You are trying everything, you have your job set up. And your plan is for one brother to hate the other brother and slay him so Babylon can crush his skull. It's a pity many of our youths don't realize that you trade them with your dollars, give them your killing orders, and turn around and sell them out just like French fries. But here is what you do, you use the youth like them a tool for doing a bag of evil lusting. But woe be unto you for turning people picnic fool. You shatter their hopes and dreams. You can't deny, don't even try. You are the reason why decomposed bodies are often found. But will not be for long, can't escape with all your wrong. Countless murders committed in towns. Feed the bag of people you make us so far. Feed the blood money that make you richer. Oh, yeah, Mr. Heartless, you in it and go bitter. Shout it, shout it. Feed the youths you pay, feed them the murder. All of the body where them dump in a gutter. Oh, yo, remember you go pay for. Rastafari teaching, you don't want to learn. Well, enough of them skin get burned. Sure.
Mr. Heartless. Mr. Heartless. Let me say something here now. Let me say it here now, right now. When you have a leader of a country who is heartless, who have no heart at all for his own people, how do you expect that he will have a heart for people who is outside of his race? Huh. Yeah, I know all you can't take it when it's real. All you can't take it when it's real, you know. Or you like old talk. Take the call before I get into this segment, because I'm going into our next segment here, you know. Welcome, caller.
Good evening.
Cascade, Rockland.
Hear me now. If you go against the OSHA Act, I want Roger and them to investigate now. The OSHA Act. It is alleged that somebody received money to cover up. You hear what I say? It is alleged to cover up the OSHA Act. Workmen compensation. It is alleged that somebody received money to cover up. That's why you see this man putting out pictures of what take place to this woman. They better careful with taking place in this place, you know. Because Mr. Rowley ain't going to last long at all. People go rise up, and they go rise up viciously. With no security can't take place in Trinidad. Only what's it, you know. People can't take no more in this place, you know. And he pushing people to the brink. Because if they feel, all little boys could go on the internet now and pull up the blueprint of how to make plastic. So what they trying here, but here what I mean, they better careful, you know. Careful. Look where they taking a man, a Mr. Stone, leaving Trinidad, leaving to go and fight inside of Ukraine. A man by the name of Mr. Stone. When little black people was leaving to go and fight for ISIS, the whole country rise up. Nobody has said nothing about Mr. Stone. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, Cascade. Take this one. Yeah. Welcome, caller.
Yes, good night to all.
Good night, caller.
I want to know if this man wants Rowley to last long. Why you want him to last long? Anyhow, my point is this. Last night I was listening to Camilla. And she extended the olive branch for she passed MPs and them to come back to the party. And I find that is a very good suggestion. Let us swallow the pride and go back to the party. Because if they don't do that, it's only two major parties in Trinidad. And if they don't do that, you understand, the boat will split up and PNM will go back there. Right? Them head too big for hat and them head too small for hat. Some of them hat can't fit their head because the head too big, and it can't fit them because it's too small. Right? So who the hat could fit, let her wear the hat. Right? Let her leave the woman alone, dig themselves, go back to the party, and let the election win. You understand? That's the only how I see that election could win in Trinidad. People have to swallow the pride and stop this stupidness they're going on with in Trinidad. As they ain't going nowhere, they want this government to move from there, but they're not doing the right thing. They have to swallow the pride. They just can't say Camilla this and Camilla that, and them had fall too. Them had fall too. And I had the opportunity of going up in a big time go through in Trinidad. And whilst I was cashing, I have a conversation with the cashier. And she starts saying, well, girl, all I said, you don't know because you're living in Trinidad. You don't know how the Indian and them is. You don't know the shooters down here. I say, hey, I was living in Trinidad once, and I never seen Indian and them do anything. You understand? And to make a long story short,
Daddy brainwash.
Wherever I tell she, you understand? She turn back and say, I like you, girl, I like you. You understand?
Yeah.
Because I tell you like it is. The people and them brainwash. They've been brainwashed by the government.
Correct.
Okay? So what all you have to do now? All you have to get people on the ground working, and like all you have to go house to house and explain to the people in layman terms that they can understand. Because to me, people ain't understanding what's going on. So that is what all you have to do, please. Please, before it's too late. All you have to do that.
Thank
and
you, Tobago.
Get roll out of there this yourself. Please.
Thank you very much, Tobago. Thank you very much. Good night. Blessings. Wonderful. All right, the number to call is 218-7762. We'll leave the lines open a bit. 218-7762. And this is what is happening in this country. And if, Tobago, if you are to ask the cashier, what the Indian them do you? You know they can answer? Welcome, caller.
Good night, gentlemen. Again, not very long. Reading the article on the Express concerning what Boudram was saying, and they say there was a clipping. Remember a few years ago there was a clipping with some people with guns and things coming because stop the carnival. But when it was a hoax, there was no voice. But then again, to that clipping, if according to what Boudram was explaining, is how that oil, how did they get something filmed? But Boudram said oil was over, the place was dark with water. So it's kind of curious and think that to go deep into investigating this matter has to be addressed. Anyhow, thank you, bye.
Thank you, caller. Technology. So the same cashier who will say what the Indian them do we and what the Indian them do we. If you ask that individual what the Indian them do you, they can answer. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Victor.
Elsie in the house.
Good evening, Cocky. Good evening, Jeffrey. What going on, Panda? Elsie in the house.
Elsie.
Short and sweet. And now finished with schoolwork and things. What going on, Anil? Like when Manchester United get our licks on Sunday and just now, like you go in the corner and go in the corner to hide our.
Say that again. Say that again.
I say when like where Anil, like he gone back in the cave because Manchester United get our licks on Sunday. And they get like some Atletico Madrid just now, again, how the Champions League, I want to go and hide in the cave.
Well, I know if you come out the Senate yet today, I see the kangaroo.
Yeah.
The kangaroo woman trying to quiet him when before the Senate is the extension with the immigration bill.
Yeah.
When he explaining the amount of immigrants we have from Venezuela and so on. The kangaroo woman started telling about he's stretching it and why sometimes Anel, I think somebody called in the other day and tell the people what they want, you know, Anel. I think somebody tell them that. But go ahead, Elsico. Go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, so I want to be sure to I know I already mentioned to Anel that I a supporter Arsenal. I want to ask your opinion on tomorrow's match. Tomorrow's a big game, Emirates Stadium. 4:15 p.m. Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates Stadium. I'm going 2-0 to the Arsenal. Let me hear some predictions now. Starting with you, Corky. Let me hear you.
Now, well, Corky say you have no prediction. So what we go do? Here we go do for you. We go call Anel just now, and we go let Anel answer your question.
Yeah, all right. Corky, Jeffrey, let me hear your prediction now.
I no prediction, man. I no prediction.
All right, Victor. What about you? What about you, Victor?
Nah, I stopped supporting that football outside.
All right, well, I'll go with my prediction. El Sikoro, we supporting Arsenal with 2-0 to the Arsenal to beat Liverpool. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right. That's it.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. I got to let Anel deal with you. El Sikoro, I got to let Anel deal with you on that football. You're playing managed. You're buying against Anel. I go let him deal with that. Welcome, caller.
Hey, Mr. Roberts, good night to you and the crew.
Yes, sir. Good night. How are you?
Long time I ain't called, man.
Yeah. I ain't here for a little while.
You see that call back them snipers? I won't do that, yeah? Them snipers.
Go ahead, make your point.
I listened to our program this morning. They have too much KHEB in this place, boys.
You're telling me?
Imagine Gary Griffith is a fella I always like. He cry me real good. This morning he talk on our program, the moderator is a known PNM Moderator.
Yeah.
And Gary talking about third party. And here we go and talk. But I lose confidence in Gary. He talked about when his COP gave 147,000 votes. Right? And right now, a third party could get more votes than that.
In which country? Which country you are talking about? Not Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, in Trinidad when they formed the COP.
Nah, listen what I say to you.
Uh-huh.
What Gary's speaking of, a third party could get more vote than that. I am telling you, not in Trinidad and Tobago.
But I know that. But what the point I want to make is this.
Yeah.
The moderator knows very well that 147,000 votes the COP get caused by Joe Pandey, the election and PNN. But Gary failed to mention that.
Mm-hmm.
You should have tell Gary, but what happened? Yep, they didn't prove nothing. The PNM stay over. And Gary needs to be told that. So them only coming at time to split vote. If it happens. So, as a police commissioner, you're well good. But analyzing politics, he ain't there at all. A third party just coming to create problems in the country and keep them in power if they have the ability at this time. So that was well poor this. If it was on your program, you would have asked him, what the COP prove? They let PNM stay in power and Pandey lose the election. Not so. You want to ask him, tell him that?
Well, I would have tell him straight out that third party have no place in this country.
Except to split this time, keep PNM in power if that is possible.
And Kola, it wouldn't even happen in this election because let me tell you something. Just what you saying there is what the countries are aware of. They are aware of that.
Everybody aware of that now.
Exactly.
Because that COP, them was Pandey supporters, they fool and take them, you know.
Yeah.
But I send someone to do that again. And like I say, your opposition leader, well, the meeting was nice last night. But don't call back them snipers, man. We don't want no snipers around. Them that shoot them in the bush when you can't see her.
Lead them in the rain.
Huh?
I say what you say, lead them in the rain.
We don't want no snipers. Leave them in there.
Well, I might buy some umbrellas and put over their head.
Leave them in the wilderness, man. Right? Mr. Roberts, you go talk.
Thank you, Kola. Thank you, Kola. I like that. Lead them in the rain. Welcome, Kola.
Good night, Mr. Roberts, Cokie, Jeffries, if any of you all are there.
Yes. Good night.
Everybody here.
Nice. Listen to this. Gary Griffith, he didn't understand why they got 140,000 votes.
Well, I don't want you to try to educate him. Where are you trying to educate him for?
Nothing, no.
If he feel he could get a vote, let him go and get it.
We owe it to people of lesser intelligence to help them along the road. That was a vote of dissent against Pandey. And it continued on Pandey. When he called the election, Kamala whip him. What is 10-1? Now, let me talk about the Paria issue. You see what is happening already? I'm hearing that the OSHA inspector has resigned. The chief inspector who's supposed to investigate it, What I tell you, the PNM and the conspiracy started today because if OSHA investigate, nothing can happen. You understand? I hear, what I call him, Tojam Jacob, started an investigation to do an interim report, interim investigation. Then they come up with all kind of new things just to deflect and things. What in interim investigation? 4 people died. You understand? And these things get me annoyed. And what I'm waiting for to start is they get 2 people. They can start it. What am I shooting on? They say 2 people, the terms of the commission, a quorum is 2. So start it and let me go forward. Or nobody who don't want to be part of it because they know it will be basically a show. But we want, according to Hannah last night, 5-1 is murder. And those persons responsible for it, including the vaccine vagrant, A.K. Pimpanian, I believe he was part of the liberation. He doing all kind of stupid, deflecting all kind of things. I hear they say they're devaluing. How we gain money? They're doing nothing to generate income. Remember, they say they wasn't shutting down petrol train, and they say close your door, open your fridge. You don't think? I don't believe them fellas don't have a clue. They have some small brain receding in the skull. Go on, have a nice night.
Thank you, caller. 218-7762. We will leave the phone lines open just a little bit longer so you can place your call while stocks last. But, as we were saying, to the end of the day, we have seen a prime minister, and I will play the clip just now. We have seen a prime minister who demonstrate a high level of arrogance. Take your call in. Don't study me. You take the call. I could talk. Welcome, caller.
Mr. Victor Roberts.
Yes, sir.
You see that Tobago, man? You have 41 constituencies in Tobago, right? Each constituency have to look after one another. The people have to come out and stand up and watch what is happening within their constituency. And if you go from house to house within that, who is in that constituency, and ask the people how you all are thinking. You know, when we just come out and talk about corpse and all of these things, we can't put people in front. The grassroots people is the people who just go out there and stain the fingers for a betterment. And if people watch for the last 5 years, I have to keep repeating this, between Mr. Rowley, our Prime Minister, and Mrs. Kamala Persad then, and you had a choice to choose. And under Mrs. Kamala Persad, you see, IMF, when Christmas comes, when all these Easter holidays and all these Diwali and things, people used to get cost price food. Right. For this election, for this thing, the IMF give out money, give out donation to the carnival people and leave people to suffer. You know, chicken going up next week.
Well, everything
going up again.
Everything will be going up very soon. Everything will
no,
be
it's going up already.
It's going again. It's going again.
It's going up. Electricity done going up. Everything, and they're waiting for this and they're waiting for that. We, the citizens, have to understand. We listen to you all. We must make that judgment and know and understand. Or just standing up for something. And if we cannot stand up with you all, we are the losers. The people will always be the losers. I would never blame Mr. Rowley if I had to win something. I'm not going to cheat, because anything is cheat. And if it's cheat for blood, you have to keep on protecting it by blood. If it gets something with love, you will always protect it by love. And this is what we have to understand. When a nation could listen to lying people, you're blighting the country, you're blighting the citizens of the land, and the people who vote for them, blighting their own self. Have a blessed and wonderful night, sir.
Thank you, caller.
Right, let me take this one. I have a clip I want to play. Caller, load on your radio, please.
Hello, good night, sir.
Yeah, good night.
I am a first-time caller in your program. I listen to your program every night.
I appreciate it, sir. Welcome to 97 douglAR Radio.
Right, thank you. Who is the main witness in that Paria business with that death and so on? Mr. Boudram?
Yeah, the survivor.
Well, you see that fella? They have to make sure and secure that fella. You see what's going on in this country? He could get passed out easy and he won't know. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
So I just read a lot of papers, I just listen to a lot of politics.
Right.
You see, he's the main witness. You understand? Because they're not trying to cover up every shit already. So they have to put himself in a safe house or some kind of thing, right? So I know, I don't know what we're going in this country again, you know.
Right, brother, they are very sad state.
I'm telling you. Anyhow, have a nice night.
Thanks for calling. sad and more sad.
The man make a vital point there, man. This man, that put he in a safe house.
Gotta keep him safe. Corky, we have a clip there to play, brother. Yes. Now, where you play that clip for this country to hear. As you ready? I want them to pay attention to this man. Yes, you bust it when you're ready, man.
I want to categorically deny that I had anything to do with the relationship between the President and the Police Service Commission and any action of the Service Commission in its relationship with the President.
Play it back for me, Corky. Corky, rewind that clip. I want Trinidad and Tobago to hear the Prime Minister. I want them to hear what the Prime Minister saying in relation to this merit list. Are you ready?
I want to categorically deny that I had anything to do with the relationship between the President and the Police Service Commission and any action of the Service Commission in its relationship with the President.
So, ladies and gentlemen, your Prime Minister said that he wanted to categorically deny that he had anything to do with the merit list, the President, and the Service Commission, the Police Service Commission, that is. This is what your Prime Minister said to you. Corky, have a next clip there. This is what your Prime Minister said to you. But here your Prime Minister no. Next one.
There's one word to describe what happened today, and it's disgraceful. But I'm not surprised.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said the motion brought by opposition leader Kamla Prasad-Bissessar was void of any evidence of wrongdoing on the part of President Paula May Weeks in the matter involving the Police Service Commission. While the opposition accused the Speaker of preventing them from debating the motion to remove the President in the House on Thursday, Dr. Rowley said only the motion which is written and presented in the Parliament can be read in the House.
So why does the opposition believe that their incompetent leader could have written a one-page motion with nothing to support their allegation and their surmising and their suppositions, and then call together the Electoral College? And then when you realize you've made a fool of yourself talking about debate when there is no provision for a debate.
Dr. Rowley said the serious motion brought by the opposition could have had the head of state removed from office tonight.
It was no motion for a debate on a fishing expedition and we had a good time and then we go home and say, boy, you talk well. It was to remove the president from office today had the vote gone in their favor.
According to Section 36 of the Constitution, a motion to remove the president must be investigated by a tribunal, must have full particulars of the person's removal, and must be adopted by no less than 2/3 of all members assembled together. Kimberly D'Souza, TTT News.
Right. So I ain't taking no phone call right now. You see right now, all phone calls suspended. We go take some call in a while. All right? So let we go. Keith Christopher Rowley said to you, the public, that he had absolutely nothing, no interference whatsoever with the merit list in relation to the president and the Police Service Commission. we heard Keith Rowley. But ladies and gentlemen, just a couple days ago, Keith Christopher Rowley confessed to this country that he was the high-ranking government official that met with the presidents. A matter of fact, both of them. Keith Rowley stood up in the parliament when the opposition brought that motion before the House. And Keith Rowley said that the opposition leader ought to be embarrassed for bringing that motion to the parliament. A matter of fact, he said that motion could have unseated the president the same night. I want to start by saying that the only embarrassment in that parliament is you, Keith Rowley. I want to make it plain. I want to make it clear. The only embarrassment in that parliament is you, Keith Christopher Rowley. Because you have lied to this country, Keith Christopher Rowley, on so many occasions that it ain't funny. You have lied to us in front of our face with the Petrotrin issue. You have stood up in a press conference, Keith Rowley, and you tell Trinidad and Tobago that you had no idea or no information who was on that delegation that came with Delcy Rodriguez in your diplomatic center, when you said that the discussion was on COVID-19. So you tell this country that you had a discussion with the whole of PDVSA, the whole of the Venezuelan oil company heads, and you tell this country that the discussion was on COVID-19. Liar! You tell this country that you didn't know and you was not aware that Astrobal Chavez, Juan Sanchez, and all of these individuals was on that plane. You said you had no idea. A matter of fact, your fidgeted words was, I am now coming to know. You have now coming to know. You have a national security minister at the time, Stuart Young. We, Keith Rowley, we understand the diplomatic chain. We understand, Keith Rowley, how diplomatic correspondence work. We understand, Keith Rowley, when a delegation is coming from another country. We understand, Keith Rowley, the role the foreign affairs minister play, Keith Rowley. We understand the role that national security play, Keith Rowley, and we also know the role that you play as the prime minister whenever a delegation is coming from another country to yours. Keith Rowley, you tell us that you was not closing down Petrotrin. You tell my mother, you tell my wife mother, you tell my children mother, you tell my mother, you tell my mother, that if they close in the door, the government is not closing down Petrotrin. Liar. Liar. You tell us so. Keith Rowley, you tell us that you had absolutely nothing to do in relation to that merit list. You tell us so, Keith. But a liar have no memory. My mother always tell me that a liar have no memory. And Patrick Manning tell me that show me a thief and I will show you a liar. Show me a liar and I will show you Rowley. You hear what I'm saying? You tell us that you, Keith Rowley, had nothing to do with that merit list. You never interfere. You never interface. But we know it was you. You see the signatures at the president booth does not lie, Keith Rowley. It does not lie, Keith Rowley. And when you could come now and confess that you is the man that interfere with that independent process, this country, you see it taking me right back to the place that I want to go. You see, when a country doesn't have merit and it does not have people who will stand and defend the country when we are in a crisis as to what we are now experiencing, it is a sad state. We can no longer support a prime minister who lie publicly, who interfere with every investigation in a country, who interfere with every independent institution in a country to protect the self, the finances, and the ministers. Keith Rowley, when you get caught with that telephone call with Avery Drilling, I tell the public, I say it is misbehavior in public office. The Prime Minister, it doesn't matter who friend he or she have or has. It makes no difference when you are sitting in the chair as Prime Minister. You have to limit. There is limitations to your friend and your phone calls. You cannot, Keith Rowley, have your friend under investigation and you as the Prime Minister will make a phone call as to inquire into the said allegation that your friend is under investigation for. That is a conflict of interest. Don't see it, Keith? That is a conflict of interest. And as Prime Minister, you ought to know that that is a conflict of interest. You are the head of Petrotrin, being the Prime Minister. You are the head of every state-owned institution in this country. As Prime Minister, you appoint the boards. You appoint the chairman. You have your line ministers who will report to you on any given situation. And therefore, when there is an investigation into a situation where your friend, where your partner, a matter of fact, it could be your mother, you cannot interfere. You cannot interfere. So you have set a precedent in this country that you continue to interfere with every independent decision in this country, causing a constitutional crisis that today, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago needs to demit office immediately. The Prime Minister of this country needs to resign immediately. This is what we must demand, Jeffrey. We cannot, ladies and gentlemen, have a government that is running renegade and afoul of the law and still acknowledge them as a government. This government should be charged with treason. That is what should happen to this government. But you see, when you have a police commissioner who is appointed through political interference, that police commissioner becomes a P&M footstool. Rowley will wipe his shoes on any footstool. The reason for these appointments, Trinidad and Tobago, is to protect the corrupt activities by this government. That is the reason why we have people appointed in these high offices. It's to protect the government. And I'm saying to you, Trinidad and Tobago, we cannot tell as to how far this contamination has already spread. We do not know. What about the Integrity Commission? We don't know if the contamination spread there. What about the DPP? The office? We do not know if it is already spread there. We do not know, ladies and gentlemen, as to how far this political interference has gone. And therefore, in order to bring back transparency and to bring credibility to governance, a fresh election must be, ladies and gentlemen, demanded in order to bring back some kind of sanity to this country. Our international partners, they are looking inward as to the behavior not of this government, but as to the behavior of you, the citizens of this country. Because if the citizens of this country supports that kind of corrupt behavior by governance, then the international community, whenever they decide to take action, it will be action upon Trinidad and Tobago and not action against the corrupted few. You must recognize the seriousness of the breaches of our constitution by this administration. This administration, ladies and gentlemen, they erode the 2/3 and 3/5 majority from the books. Everything by this government is by a simple majority. And when we sit and allow this behavior to be perpetrated against the people of this country, we are no better than those who commit the act. We must stand for what is right. It matters not if it's your mommy that breaks the law. It matters not if it's your daddy who breaks the law. The law is there, and each and every individual must be held accountable to law and order in this country. We can no longer support the persecution of the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden in this country while the politicians getting away with murder. We can no longer persecute the little black boy on the streets when the black boy in government continue to rob and steal and kill the future of our children by the way in which they handle the public purse. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a people and we have to stand for something. We can no longer allow this government to go down this road while our people suffer. Our people cannot buy food. Our people cannot pay the rent. Our people cannot survive with the taxes and with the high food prices and with all that this government continue to perpetrate against us. The poor people in this country will die under the policies of Keith Rowley and his government, and we must stand in the gap. Today I am asking you, how many of you will stand with us? How many of you will defend this country? How many of you will stand up and lie down, put your lives on the line for freedom, justice, and equity in this country? Join us. Join us. This is the fight and the battle of all battles in this country. And this battle is not a battle of destruction. It's a battle to defend our democracy. It is a battle to defend the poor, the oppressed, the downtrodden. It's a battle to protect the future of our children. It's a battle to protect the future generation. We must stand, ladies and gentlemen. We can no longer allow a government led by Keith Rowley who continue to punish us, continue to take away from us. We can no longer stand and allow this to happen. People, wake up. Come on, people. This is a real life situation. This is a time. This is a place. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a matter of life and death. This is where we reach. And if we allow what is happening to continue, I am saying to you tonight that we as a country will not only go 50 years backward, but we would be in a position where we will destroy the life and livelihoods of our children. Do not be selfish. This cannot be about you. This can no longer be about us. This has to be about the future generation. We have the youths in this country who suffering, and those who are not suffering, they are living by the gun to live. They are taking up arms against each other to survive in this country. They are doing what no one of us will want them to do. But I am saying tonight, and it matters not who vex, but I am saying, if you do not provide for the youths of this country, then they will provide for themselves by any means necessary. That is the reality. No amount of guns and bullets that you give the police will stop the youths from looking for living. What it needs in this country is good governance and policies to move the youths from that direction. It will take a holistic plan, and it will take people with commitment. It will take people with a heart. It will take people with passion to change this country. This country cannot change with Keith Rowley and his hostile ways. Hostile ways will only breed, ladies and gentlemen, more hostility. We are in a place, people, that today you have life, tomorrow it is not sure. We are living in a time of uncertainties, not because God have created it, but because the policies of an arrogant leader. We are now living between a rock and a hard place. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't no game. This ain't no joke. This ain't no cartoon. Don't believe that you could be a cartoon character today, because you will realize tomorrow that you are a dead human being. This is not a game. This is a situation where this country have to stand up for what is right. This is a time where this country going forward must hold every and any, all politicians accountable for their action, and we must allow the politicians to know that the prison wasn't made for the little black boy. It is room, there is room in the prison for them. We have allowed all level and manner of corruption to be swept under the carpet because you like this party and you like that party. And when you like this party and you like that party, the only people suffer in this country is the people, the poor, the oppressed, the downtrodden, those who want to live, the future. They are the one who suffer. And we have the opportunity to stand up as a people and elect individuals who will defend, who will stand for what is right. For too long in this country, ladies and gentlemen, we have allowed the wrong thing to happen. You have allowed them to poison your minds by putting Indian against African and African against Indian. We have allowed that. Now is the time where African and Indian must come together and we must divide them. We must divide them because them is who divided us. And we must grow testicular fortitude and hold these people accountable. For far too long, we have allowed this country to get out of hand. We have allowed this country to create against itself a certain type of evil. And this evil, ladies and gentlemen, we have allowed it to rule us for far too long. Now it's time to bring back some God in we life. Bring back some God in all your life by standing for the right thing. Bring back some God in your life by standing for what is right. And let us get rid of what is wrong. That is what we have to do. Get rid of what is wrong. And what is wrong in this country, ladies and gentlemen, is this Keith Rowley, PNM, all of them. All of them. Every single one. Birds of a feather do everything together. And when you allow birds of a feather to do everything together, all you will get is young birds who have the same feather as the old one. That's all you will get. Young birds who have the same feather as the old one. And that is what is happening in this government. It is not one thiefing. They are so clever that when they thief, they share. And they ain't sharing equally, you know. They're sharing to ensure that you can't talk. They're sharing to ensure that you is guilty just as me. So all of us have to hold secret for one another. You hearing anybody talking out? You hearing anyone of them making noise? You hearing anybody dissatisfied? Everybody quiet. You know why? Because everybody hand in the jar from captain to crook. The chief captain ensure that the Fantastic Seven tie up everybody hand in the cookie jar. If you ask anybody to open the hand, if you ain't seen cookie, you're seeing the dust from the cookie. Everybody playing in the cookie jar. And the honest people who can't get the cookie, the honest people who can't taste the dust is you, the voters in this country. You, the voters in this country, you are the people who put in them to play with the cookie, to thief the cookie, to dust the hand, but you cannot even get the bottle that the cookie was in. You know why? Because you allow it. And my job is to help you to see the light. My job is to help you to understand that we have to stand together. We have to look out for we own constituency. We have to police we constituency. We must represent we constituency. We must support people who will deliver, not support people who playing midwife with the treasury. They only delivering to the self and the self and the self. We want the treasury to come down to the poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden. That is we treasury. That is we money. And our money must share equitable across the board, where every creed and every race must benefit. The money mustn't share when the Indian in power that they alone benefit. The money mustn't share when the African in power they alone benefit. The money must share across the board. The money must share according to Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Kamla Prasad Bisesa trickle the money down straight from on top, where the man on the ground, the pregnant woman, the homeless, the mother without a man could have get something. And that is what we're talking about. We're talking about equity. We're talking about accountability. We're talking about putting politicians in jail. That is what we're talking about. Putting politicians in prison. The thieving of the public purse has to stop. Must stop. And if I and Jeffrey and others cannot stop it, we will certainly try. We will try. And when we go on, somebody, some youth will take over. Somebody will make it happen. Cocky, we had to go for the break. I'm not talking long. We'll be right back.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mosaka.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mosaka. The Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Join me, Anthony Jules, on Late Nights with Jules, only on MCTV. New guests every week, activity, games, hot topics, a lot of discussions. You don't want to miss it. Tune in and join me only on MCTV, 9 p.m. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Calling every human. Eddie's Pharmacy Limited, we have a selection of all pharmaceutical products and over-the-counter drugs to complement your wellness. Every product we carry is vetted and approved by our pharmacists who will be happy to assist you. With branches at C3 Mall inside JTA Supermarket, 1135 SS Road in Pinal, and 54 Rocha Douglas Road in Barrackpore. We offer services such as blood pressure testing, blood sugar testing, cholesterol testing, and also offer a wide variety of pregnancy test kits. We accept most major health insurances. For further information, contact Eddie's Pharmacy at any of our 3 branches. C3 Mall, contact number 228-4990, 54 Rocha Douglas Road in Barrackpore at 654-2655. Or SS Erin Road in Pinal, 647-0778, Eddie's Pharmacy Limited.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
Sport is in trouble. What can be done to save sports in TNT? Join host Gordon Pear on Sports Insight every Monday and Wednesday on MCTV from 4:30 p.m. as he identifies the problems, look for solutions, and points the way forward. Sports Insight, where we talk to the coaches, athletes, administrators, and of course, you the fans, as we bring positive change through sport.
The local Palooza Show and Countdown.
Now showing on MCTV.
Hosted by TNT's rock ambassador, Bees Hi-Fi, the Metal Merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network. Local Palooza Show and Countdown on MCTV. The local Palooza Show and Countdown.
Now showing on MCTV.
U975 Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio and Multicultural Television MCTV, bringing you back where you belong, part of the Rhythms Communications Network. To advertise with us, call 218-7820.
douglAR Radio is now on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Anil Roberts, bringing you the facts on politics and up-to-date information. Also taking your calls on 218-7762. douglAR Radio on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on, what you say?
Sponsored by Royal Castle.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Welcome the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The phone lines open. 218-7762. You open the lines. 218-7762. Ladies and gentlemen, what kind of human being will stand up today and give us one story and a week later give us a completely different story? Is that the kind of individual that you want at the helm of your country? Is that what you want? An individual who have none whatsoever, no moral standards whatsoever. The churn of this country, when we was going to school, we had to know who is the prime minister. We had to know who is the president. We had to know the members of parliament. And everybody want to be a prime minister back then. Everybody want to be a prime minister. today, if you ask the children from kindergarten coming up, nobody wants to be a prime minister because of the example, because of the behavior, because they have seen a man totally out of control. Patrick Manning couldn't have said better. Patrick Manning said when this man cannot get away is a man totally out of control. He become a raging animal. Patrick Manning said it. We have seen it. What again we want in this country, ladies and gentlemen? Is this the kind of governance that we will support? Is this what we will mentor our children to observe? This kind of behavior, this kind of lying kind of governance? We have seen the behavior of these members of parliament. We have seen the members of government, the way in which they behave in the parliament, from Shamfa Kojo come right back, the kind of hooligan kind of way they display themselves in the parliament. Is this we want in this country, ladies and gentlemen? Is what we will support?
Good
Welcome,
night again.
Welcome, Cascade.
Yes. This is the birth of the 1970, where Africans and Indians united. The Africans and the Indians united to shake the same vulture PNM. You hear? I want all the youths to understand what is going on, you know. It's under the same PNM regime that make the 1970 uprising, you know, where they divided the boat race to rule that me and you, as the poor man on the ground, cannot say. And this is what we have to have, a united front to confront this same monster that we rise up against in the 1970 that come back in we eyes again to hunt little children and then pick up gun to rob Tanti and uncle, and take Tanti handbag and bust off his little chain in the road. Brother, we have to curb ourselves and look down the road and see where machinery up, you know. A race without power and respect is a race without power and authority is a race without respect, you know.
Boy.
And we have to respect ourselves as African and Indian as the two oppressed race. When we'll be raised ourselves that we on the ground could have a say in the parliament. We are against the police, you know. That is why you see the police is getting involved. You see the system.
Cascade.
You see the system.
Cascade.
It's going to make people rise up against the police because the police protecting that system.
Cascade. Cascade. Hello. Cascade, you say something that touched me, boy, Cascade. You see that point that you make, that the poor and the oppressed have to have a voice in parliament, Cascade. Cascade, like you're reading Jeffrey and Victor Roberts' position, boy. You're reading it, Cascade, boy. That is what we are about, boy, Cascade. The poor, the oppressed, and the downtrodden, the poor African and the poor Indian, they must have a say in the parliament, Cascade. Welcome, caller.
Yes. Good night to all.
Good night, sir.
Yes, my brother there in Cascade, right? He hit the nail on his head because I'll tell you something, right? Bakanda used to always teach us, right? Good? That the people is the government. You understand? And he said it in one of their renewals when they were in the partnership. He said, we are the government. You understand? And the teachings that he had, right, is the teachings that what they're mashing up here. Because a radio station this evening, one of the PNM radio stations, promoting this kind of, like, all Indians is UNC. You understand? And all Indians well off. I could carry her and show her Sunday people boiling rice, and if they don't have a little green thing to curry and eat it, they take somebody boiled rice and curry that and eat it boiled rice with curry rice. I shall well, I could carry and show you that. You understand? I listen to all you this evening and the kind of race all you're projecting and all your end. As though all Indian well off and all Indian have money and this and that. You understand? We were in the movement in the 70s And they better be careful how they're saying things, and they better be careful how things go in this country, you know. Things could turn out really bad in this country, you know. You understand? A TV host said, as he said, they might leave everything, house, car, wife, everything, and go running, you know. Remember some time ago somewhere into a country that take a parliamentary and throw him in a dustbin and show the briefcase on top of him? Somewhere that
I saw it.
some time ago.
I saw it.
You understand?
Thank
The
you,
people,
brother.
African and Indians, unite. And the brothers on the road like Cascade, Silver Fox and Tobago, the sisters and them, everybody, all they keep educating the people. You understand? Keep the people around you, educate them. You understand? Help them. So you might gain a little, you have to agree to disagree, right? Because the kind of hatred that they're pushing, you understand? They realize it's a severe battle coming up. They realize they are the losing end. You see, they're talking about the devaluation, but then they want to say, no, he said, no, he ain't devalue no money. When he say he ain't doing something, you know what has happened?
Them man no say, boy,
And
brother,
because
boy.
of the
Them man
property
no
tax,
say.
according to all the people, do not pay no property tax. You understand? They say, which I don't believe, they say they get enough forms to qualify for half the amount, so they're going to introduce it. You understand? And he's saying it wouldn't be much. Let him go pay property tax first, and then we go pay property tax, because he passed a law. That law was so important for him to pass last year to exempt himself from property tax, family-owned dwelling. So he told me something. He told me in that kind of way. You understand? Kiana, this new man George, you see how much boards that man on and how much salary he collecting, and that you speak of the house husband. You understand? We just take real stupidness in this country. You know, look at Mia Motley. She absorbing, she dropping the gas price, she dropping the diesel. You saw what she was doing?
Yes, of course, brother. I pay attention.
Good. She dropping the diesel price, she dropping the freight on the containers until for a year to allow the businesses and them to catch themselves, and the country will bear that cost. You understand? That is a leader, right? That is what you call a leader. I don't know whether this blight going by, she had a right to run him. You understand? She had a right to run him. The people of Trinidad should appeal to her as well too. Don't accommodate them kind of people wrong here. You understand? Don't accommodate them kind of people around here.
Thank you, brother.
Anyway, you all take care and all the best. It's coming, I know. It's coming, I know. And it's coming very, very serious.
Thank you very much. Well. Trinidad and Tobago, boy. Trinidad and Tobago. Cascade make a point. It's about time the poor and the oppressed have a say in the parliament. Cascade, that is what we trying to educate the people to achieve, Cascade. We trying to help the people to understand that they must have a say. Cascade, there is so much poor people in this country. I and Jeffrey, throughout the length and breadth of this country, we have witnessed, we have seen the type of conditions that people living in this country, brother. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Robert.
Good night, sir.
Good night. You know, I'm calling from Tobago, right? And it's really heart-wrenching to look at how politics has really corrupted the minds of people. Because, I mean, somebody could tell me, look at the behavior of the government overall over these last 7 years, right? Look at the behavior. You can't trust them at all, the corrupt practices. Imagine a government telling me that, listen, anything we do, I don't have to tell you. Some simple information you want, you have to take the government to freedom of information to get it, and then they had the audacity to go to the parliament and try to block us from getting the information.
Yeah, 3
Trying
months
to
to wait.
extend, exactly. When that failed, they go now and pass legislation where we can't get information from them when they have government-to-government relations.
Arrangements, yeah.
Right? Look at the issue with Petrotrin. Now, I heard you talk about Petrotrin last week. I wanted to clear that up for me because I was having some discussions with somebody. Is it that they went to the High Court and then the Appeal Court and then the Privy Council? Because people saying that didn't happen. Is it that happened? That what happened? I would listen off here.
All right, thanks. But every time Victor Roberts speak with facts, not fiction. Anytime you hear on a public platform, I speak with facts. If there is things that I'm not sure about, I will research. Take the call, I will answer him after. I will research and then talk. Welcome, caller.
Quickly again, gentlemen, that we should do some analysis. Yeah, quickly. We should do some research now. Do a proper analysis. Who is willing to assist us and who is decided to take from us. All your burden heavy need come, you will get rest. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. So, caller, the matter with the Petrotrin, it went to the High Court in Trinidad and Tobago. The High Court, they lost. It went to the Appeal Court. AV Drilling also lost. It went to the Privy Council, where the law lords said that they had no case. You understand, caller? So those who want to tell you that it didn't happen, pay no attention or tell them to go and do some research. The facts is there, the evidence is there, and it's so easy. If they can read and they can write, they could just take a phone and press the mic and ask Google, and they will get the information. That is how simple it is. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, Cascade again.
Yeah, Cascade.
This is no time for no other caller day. This is no time for no poem, you know. This is a serious thing. We are affecting everybody in this country, you know. Employment is 25, unemployment is 25 to 30% of the population unemployed. You looking to bring labor from up the Caribbean? You want them little boy and them to pick up thing and rock tanty and granny and thing? What is this man trying to do in this place, boy?
Destroy it.
Unemployment is 25 to 30% of the population unemployed, and you're dismantling businesses again and laying off, and you want to bring people from up the Caribbean to work way in front of these little youth and them. We're now looking to come out of classroom or who come out already and looking to gain a little employment somewhere. You're looking to block them. But you what happening? This thing ain't going to end, so you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Cascade. It cannot end so. So I don't know what to say again. Jeffrey, when you look into the school system right now, and you seeing a new trend is set in the school where the youths and them, the way in which they conduct and behave, it reflect the behavior of a prime minister. When a prime minister will come on national television with all the youths and use phrases like those, whatever the thing. Remember the statement? When you have a prime minister behaving in this kind of way, what message you sending outside there?
Right.
Welcome, caller.
Yeah, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir.
Right, so the same caller calling. So, right, we put that aside, right? Now, listen, for all the years that this government has been in power, since 2015, you see that issue with the police commissioner, that was the straw that broke the family back, right? I think that alone, that matter there alone is sufficient. In any other country in the world, in any other metropolitan country in the world, the prime minister and the president, either one of them or both of them would have been.
Correct.
And even if we want to go further now to this issue with Paria, in any other metropolitan country in the world, Newman, George, and them would have been facing a murder charge. Right? Have a nice night.
Thank you, Colonel. Boy, well. And this is where we at. This is where we at. I don't know how best I could encourage this country again to stand up, to shut down this country, bring this country to a standstill. I keep saying to you that Port-of-Spain is the capital, and if we isolate Port-of-Spain, then we will be isolating the financiers of the PNM, we will be isolating the poverty, we will be isolating the corruption, we will be isolating this crooked government. I keep saying that to y'all. There is one way forward, and the way forward is to shut this place down. Time for games over. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Good night, Mr. Roberts, Mr. Jeffries, Corky, and to everybody out there. Keith Rowley lies, half-truths and innuendos, propaganda, and racism destroyed our country. He single-handedly destroyed our country. This morning, Anil reminded us on his Doubles and Coffee about when Basdeo Pandey was jailed for not filing a proper integrity thing with Integrity Commission, right?
He didn't declare the bank account in London and the wife.
Right. But Keith Rowley is doing it over and over, and the Integrity Commission is turning a blind eye as to what Keith Rowley is doing.
Well, they're not turning a blind eye, Ms. Santa Cruz. There's political interference in all these institutions, so it have nothing to come out of anything in this country.
Well, it's the same. Well, you have to say the same thing, Mr. Roberts. You understand? Because look at when Dr. Monilal had raised the issue of the one Woodbrook Place, when one Woodbrook Place, right? When he told him that that he had owned that apartment there, Keith Rowley said that he has been working since he was 17 years. His wife has been a lawyer for 30 years, and they cannot afford an apartment there. Yet 2 weeks later, we heard he owned the apartment. It's the same thing going on over and over with Keith Rowley, because he's doing things and getting away with it. Keith Rowley should have been behind bars. You understand? For what it is he did with the merit list. You openly said at a press conference. You never did it in October, sometime in October last year.
I played it a while ago.
Yes, you understand? And you're coming now to say, yes, you was the one that did it? It's the lies have brought us to where we are today. Because when you keep lying like that, how are you going to find grace with God? Mr. Roberts, have a good night.
Thank you very much, Ms. Santa Cruz. And Ms. Santa Cruz, I'm trying to tell the people that now is time to put aside talk. Now is time where the country have to take decisive action. Now is time where the country have to be able to shut this place down. We can no longer allow things to continue in this country, because as it is, we heard Mr. Griffith speak recently on several had several interviews, and he made it quite clear that money was placed in an account to go behind certain opposition opponents of the Prime Minister. And these are serious allegations. These are not allegations to just wish-wash and to leave alone. Welcome, caller.
Hi, Mr. Roberts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You shut it down the country. Don't depend on Gregory.
Well, we had to shut he down inside it too.
Yeah, I know it's crazy, but
yeah.
You talked something the other day. You shocked me, boy.
Yeah.
When they went to Westmoreland and they had the murder with the Moses jail now. And he was outraged, but he had every right to be. Murder is murder, no matter who it is.
Of course.
And but you know what he said? He said, crime, the criminals don't care nothing. They don't care who in government. They're doing what they want. In other words, you don't want to change the government.
Yeah, cushion the blow for the PNM.
You understand what I mean?
Cushion the blow, yeah. If a scammer did, I hear a different story.
Yeah, damn and hell and all this thing.
Yeah.
I never hear him so vexed yet, eh? Never hear him so outraged.
Yeah.
So when he talk, the criminals have no respect. It doesn't matter who in government, that's about it. That's what you go say, boy? In other words,
Jokers, yes. Jokers.
That PNMC. So short them down, with he, we send time.
Yeah. Thank you, caller.
All right.
And that is why I isolate all of them in Port of Spain. No money must spend in Port of Spain. Because let me tell you something. All the talk they're talking about who got the criminal have no respect for who in government. As you hear they can't make money in tongue, they is that the same guy with that government? No, you know. You take and play the two-tongue joke. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, Silver Fox in the house.
Yeah, Fox, but yeah.
Now, calling on Tobagonians, we have to come out and we have to get up. We have to come out too. Because if Trinidad fall with Rowley, we fall in here too. Right? And let me tell you something. We Tobagonians, we don't want no peace, you know. We want equal rights and justice.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
We want equal rights and justice. And right now the children in Tobago can't get work. The children in Tobago fight up to put PDP in power, and up to now they can't get nothing, but because we're fighting a battle against Rowley. Trinidad and Tobago, we have to join together. It's not about Trinidad alone. Tobago, we do the work halfway. Let me do the next half. Tobagonians are calling on all you. All you that listen to this program, plenty all you listen to it. All you call in and let we know what's going on here too. Talk. The people in Trinidad are cowards. They barely don't have no fire. They have no fire. They only have talk.
Say it
they
again,
only got
Fox.
dressed
Don't
up and
afraid to
wine
say.
and walk the road. They don't know nothing else. We want equal rights and justice in Tobago and equal rights and justice in Trinidad. We are one. Let me stop talking this stupidness about race. What color is race? What color?
Fox.
We have no race. We
Fox.
have people.
Fox.
Yes.
Save the rest of our comments for tomorrow. We time out. We have to close now.
All right.
So we'll be back here tomorrow from 6:15 to 6:30. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for calling in and giving us some ideas and some feedback. Tomorrow, Fox, I will ask Jeffrey, who will be leading the program tomorrow. I will ask him to at least give Tobago a little 10 minutes to call in. So we want to hear from a wider cross section at Tobago tomorrow. So until such time, stay blessed, stay safe. We out of here.
Thank you.